Merry meet Annie here. It's time, in fact, well, it's after the time to say farewell to Mabon. But since I'm catching up on these daily videos, we can still stay with that sentiment, as well as welcome in the season of Samhain. The time has come, the time of farewell, which is the ending of each season and the turning of the wheel of the year. Now, there are simple questions to ask, although the answers are not always as simple. Reflecting on the turning from the Sabbath of Mabon to this point, what has changed for you? And that question is directed to our view of the world and, as well, our view of our inner worlds. For me, Mabon is ending on a flourish of autumn. The trees are midway in their shedding of the summer skins. We've had one windstorm and a nor'easter after another, and the change has not been subtle. Indeed, tonight, another big storm is coming through. Each day has been a dramatic difference. It's been a week that has been both harsh, the winds have been violent, and gentle. After they passed, there was a gentle, more natural settling of the leaves. The squirrels are working overtime to bury the nuts from the oak trees which surround our house, and we hear those nuts bouncing off of the roof and the porch and the cars, and last night even off of dear little Bogey as he was trying to do his business. Every morning the sun is shining brighter and brighter into the room where my office is. That room has windows on 3 sides, and the brightness is like a cloud I can float on. Autumn this year, due to the shifting late this year of the season, felt like, is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Like a child in a car saying, are we there? Are we there? Are we there? And suddenly it became, it is here. For me, also, Mabon ended in grief, with the passing of 2 friends and the serious illness of another. Samhain this year will be especially moving, as sorrow has been my constant companion recently. I seem to have done the work of Lammas and Mabon particularly well this year. It's not the case every year. Perhaps I knew I needed to make way for considerations of loss and sadness that were centered outside of myself. There's a combination of memory and farewell in my personal life that's reflected in the world around me. I have most definitely been living the season of farewells this year. What about you? What's different at the ending of the season of Mabon from the beginning? What's different about your land, and what's different about you? Is the reflection of the season feeling external or internal to you? What of autumn is within you? What of you is within autumn? Have the changes of the season past been subtle or dramatic in your experience of them? What have you said farewell to? What are you hesitating to say farewell to? This is the time to consider the Japanese phrase of Monano a ware. It translates as the pathos of things and empathy towards things. It's also considered a non-translatable word, as it describes a feeling that cannot be captured in a word or words. It honors the emotions that surround the contemplation of things as transient. Mono no a ware is not the experience of grief. It's the understanding that things, all things, are the more beautiful because they are ephemeral, because they're going to pass. It makes us appreciate them all the more while they're here. I always feel particularly Buddhist at this time of the year, and my practice of Zen meditation deepens. It's when I understand the concept of impermanence best, a concept that usually dances at the outer edges of my comprehension as too large a concept to embrace. Except in the autumn, in the rainfall of leaves, and in the spring when blossoms become the rain. From an article on Monano a Ware in the Huffington Post in February of 2016, which I think was my introduction to the concept, or at least the particular phrase. Quote, however, this melancholy is suffused with a quiet rejoicing in the fact that we had the chance to witness the beauty of life at all, however fleetingly. We're sighing rather than weeping. And also from that article, as we reflect on this intertwining of beauty and transiency, it may perhaps elevate our appreciation of all that is dear to us. In my reflections at this ending of the season of Mabon, especially this ending of the season of Mabon, and as I prepare for my Samhain rite, I am inspired by Monono a Ware, to sigh rather than to weep. I wish you all the last blessing I'm offering this year in the season of Mabon, which actually has passed or is in the moment about to pass. And of course, I wish you all mirth and reverence. Merry part.